If you watch some of the other movies in this chapter on data analysis, you saw that Excel has some pretty good tools to help you look at different possibilities and make decisions. What I want to do now is give you just a brief overview of a free add-in that comes with Excel called the Analysis Toolpak. If data analysis is something you need to do a lot of, you'll want to explore the Toolpak because it kicks these features up to a whole new level. We won't go into a lot of detail in this movie, but I want you to see what's there. But before we use it, we have to enable it because it's a plugin. So go up to the File tab to get into Backstage View, and down here towards the bottom, click Options. And on the left, we have all the different categories of options. Let's click Add-ins down towards the bottom. Now, if you see the Analysis Toolpak here listed under Active, you don't have to enable it because it's already active. But you should see it over here under Inactive Applications. Now, if you don't see it at all, it means that it's simply not installed, and you have to get your original Microsoft Office desks and reinstall it. But if it's here, it'll probably show up as the first ones. By the way, you notice there's two of them. There's the regular and there's the VBA. The VBA is for programming, so we're not going to look at that in this course. Make sure the regular Analysis Toolpak is selected. Go down here and click Go, and that brings up the little add-ins dialog box. In here, we see the regular Analysis Toolpak, we see the VBA. So just put a check there in the regular Analysis Toolpak and click OK. Now what that does is this, go to the Data tab, and now on the right you see there's this Data Analysis item. So I'm going to show you 3 of the tools in the Analysis Toolpak. Down here on the bottom we have 3 tabs, and let's start in the Correlation tab. And what's happening here is we have 2 columns of random numbers, and we're going to use the Correlation tool to correlate and see how random are these random numbers really. So go up to Data Analysis and scroll if you need to, find Correlation and click OK. So it's asking for an input range, and the input range is everything. Let's select from B3 across and down to the bottom. So we have both of the headers and we have all the numbers. Now Excel correctly guesses that it's grouped by columns. We want to make sure that it recognizes that the first row are our labels, and we want to put the results right over here. So click the radio button here for output range. Make sure to click in the box, make sure your cursor is there, and now let's click maybe on cell E3 for the output range, and click OK, and deselect. So now what it tells us is correlating the first column with itself and correlating the second column with itself, of course, gives us a 100% correlation, but when it correlates the 2 columns with each other, that's a pretty low number. Now in real life, you probably couldn't care less about ranking random numbers, but what you might be doing is your Two Trees olive oil company is selling, say, 2 different products to customers, and you might want to see, well, does the sales of one product have anything at all to do with sales of another product? Maybe you're selling garlic olive oil and you're also selling olive oil infused shampoo, and does the sales of shampoo have anything at all to do with the sales of your garlic olive oil? So that's where I think you might find this useful. So let's take a look at moving averages. Now here we can see by month from January to August, we're selling our 6-ounce size of olive oil shampoo, and we have our totals here. This will be the input. What we want to do is take a moving average, and we want to find from one month to the other what is the average sale. So let's go back to Data Analysis and scroll if you need to and find moving average, click OK. I'll just move this here out of the way. So click here in the input range, and for the input range, select just these numbers. I'm not selecting the total column header because there's this blank row and I don't want to average in a 0. And you certainly don't want to select that calculated field. So make sure labels in first row is deselected for this example. Now what the interval is, and I'll leave this blank, this will let you have a greater or fewer numbers of months to compare with each other. But let's click over here in output range. And output range will click right there on F6, so we'll have the range here right next to the input. And while we're at it, put a checkbox in here for chart output. Click OK. So now what we see is the first 2 kind of looks like an error, and the reason we're doing that is because you have to start somewhere and you can't average a number with something before that doesn't exist. So here are the moving averages for the rest, and the real nice analysis part in this chart. We could see the blue line is the actual sales, and by using that moving average, we can predict on the red line what our sales will be in the future. So now let's go to the Rank tab. In the Rank tab, our olive oil company is selling to supermarkets, right? We're the wholesaler and the supermarkets are selling our product. Now, right now, you can see the supermarkets are listed in alphabetical order, and we have whatever their purchases are. Now you might say, well, hey, no big deal. I could just, with 1 or 2 clicks, sort by purchases, but what the data analysis tool will let you do is give them ranks by percentile. So let's go back once again to data analysis. Scroll down and choose rank and percentile. Click OK. So the input range will be including the label purchases down to the bottom. And instead of scrolling, I'm just going to press Control Shift and then the down arrow key on the keyboard. So I have them all selected and scroll up. So we're grouped by columns. That's correct. Label is in the first row. That's right. Now we want to put the output range right over here. So click this radio button for output range. Make sure to click in the box. And then let's click right over here on cell C3 and it'll just populate down that column and click OK. I'll scroll up. Now this is great, but we're not quite finished. Column C is the point, and the point is simply what is the original position of the supermarket name. So for example, this point number 1 is Albertson Supermarket, and point number 18 is whatever is number 18 down on the left. Now the purchases in column D is redundant. It's the same thing as what's happening in column B. But now we have the rank and we have the percentile. What we want to do is resort this selected area so that we get some useful information out of it. So make sure it's still selected. If you deselected it, you want to reselect. Let's go back to the Home tab over here to Sort and Filter and choose Custom Sort. What we want to sort by is the point. We want to sort values in smallest to largest, so that will make these 4 columns match the original 2 columns. Click OK. And now we can see, okay, this is supermarket number 1, this is supermarket number 2, and so on. Well, I said before the column C and D are redundant, so we don't need them anymore. Put your mouse pointer up here on the header for column C so you have that down pointing arrow. Just click and drag to column D, right click, and delete. Now we have some useful information, but let's go and format these headers. Click on one of these green headers here, and in the Home tab, get the Format Painter and just drag over here. Okay, now let's do something useful. Let's sort by rank. Click anywhere in the rank column. Sort and filter, maybe smallest to largest. So keep in mind smallest rank is the highest amount, so we see Snob Hill Market is our best customer. Here's the purchases, they're in the 100th percentile. Or maybe you want to sort largest to smallest. And let's go and sort alphabetically again. Click somewhere in column A, go to Sort and Filter, sort A to Z, and here we have our original alphabetical order. So we could see our first supermarket in the list is our number 4 best customer. So you might need only 1 or 2 of the tools in the analysis Toolpak, but knowing how those work could save you a tremendous amount of time over doing it manually.